It's a little later than usual this month, but that's because I had so much stuff on the floor I had to find it all to be able to talk about what I received in the month of March. So go ahead and look at those new editions now. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another book haul, this time for March of 2023. Lots of new things added to the home library this month, and we're going to talk about all those today, guys. But as per usual, we're beginning like always, and we're going to talk about those books that do count, guys. Of course, I'm talking about digital purchases on your nice little e-reader, be it a nice Kindle like I got, or a Kobo, or whatever makes you happy. They all do count. So let's go ahead and talk about those first up. I talked last month, guys, about how I did get a couple of Neil Shusterman books. I kind of added the digital versions of those. Now, I have Arc of the Scythe that a viewer sent to me. It was really an awesome letter that I got with that person, and why that series was important to them. But a lot of people had recommended this Unwind series, which I think is like, it takes place like after like a second civil war that was fought over abortion, and they kind of come up with the resolution of that, about how like they unwind the children, so to speak, about like where you end up using like 94% of their body or something, so they don't consider it an abortion. So it sounds obviously really controversial. I've seen it is listed as one of the most controversial books. I've even heard it talk about it being banned and stuff. But guys, in fiction, this is all fun and games, and that sounds very, very awful. Very, very awful. And I think that's what makes dystopian YA for some people a big turnoff. But I've heard that Neil Shusterman is an author that does YA fantasy or YA fiction right, in that people that aren't just of that age demographic can really enjoy those books. So I've heard that Shusterman is like one of the best at that, and that no matter what your age is, you're going to enjoy what he's writing. I've heard great things about Arc of the Scythe by people that I trust, and what I've heard about that one is like book 1 amazing, and books 2 and 3 are kind of hit or miss, is what I've heard about that. Whereas Unwind, I've heard pretty much universal acclaim. People really do like that series. I know there's 5 books or some one-offs or whatever, but I just got like the main 5 books. But yeah, Shusterman looks like an author I'd like to pick up, just when I got some spare time or something, because they don't look like they'd be very, very heavy reads. Same kind of vein there. I guess you have not the very heavy reads. If you guys don't know by now, I am reading Percy Jackson with my kid, and we're going to be finishing the 5th book in that series soon. And I thought, well, I'll present some new ideas for him for series that we can try next. And one of those that was recommended to me was a series called The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel by Michael Scott. Now, this is one, lots of people on my Discord have recommended this, that are reading this right now. And with that title, obviously the first thing I thought was like, hey, is this attached to Harry Potter in any way? Now, obviously, guys, you don't know, Nicholas Flamel was a very real person, so it's kind of based off of that. As far as what the series is about, not really sure. But I figure if it's going to be dealing with Nicholas Flamel, we're going to have something about time travel, something about immortality, all these fun things. But I've heard just great things from friends of mine that have read it, either with their kids or just on their own, and have had great things to say about it. So it's one of those I was going to kind of present to my kid, but since I got these, he has already since said, no, I want to keep going with the Percy Jackson universe, even if Percy and his friends aren't the main characters going forward. He's still very much into Greek mythology, so that's the way we're going to lean. But these I will keep in reserve in case he does want to try something else new in the future. And then lastly, guys, I got Robert Jackson Bennett's The Divine Cities trilogy a while back, because I heard great things about it. Now, if there is such a thing as a cover by, guys, the cover by was the Founders trilogy. Now, I already have books 1 and 2 on physical, and I didn't get book 3 yet of the Founders trilogy. I think it's called Locklands. And so I went ahead and just picked up the whole thing on digital here, just because, I had those expiring credits, wanted to use them. That sounded like a good idea. This seems like a series that I've gotten kind of mixed reception if they think it'll be for me or not. A lot of people said they think I'd like Divine Cities better than the Founders trilogy. But, again, I'm not above giving something a try. That's an author I've heard a lot about. I don't know why he's kind of stayed off of my radar to the point to where I haven't even gotten him on my TBR yet, or in my future plans. But that is obviously an author I would be interested in the future. And again, I'm not against a good cover by, just like everyone else is. Every once in a while, in the Founders trilogy has just amazing covers. But that's all I've got for digital for this month, guys. So don't let anybody tell you that they don't count. They do very much count, as obviously as physical purchases count. That's what a lot of people are the most interested in. Only about one book in the month of March, guys. And that's because I think I'd spent so much previously on these Witcher books. So just getting the final one here, Season of Storms, which I think might be the most meh Witcher book as far as feedback has went. A lot of people have been like, you don't really got to read it. If you want to, you can. I feel like the most negatively received is Lady of the Lake, but this just feels like a book that people have been like, if you're really, really into the series and you miss those characters, sure, go ahead and pick it up. Well, I wanted to finish that series, finish this nice hardcover set. Again, it's one of those things where I was just fearful that something would happen where they're like, oh, you know what? We didn't anticipate demand, and there's limited supply, and then I'd have to be paying out the nose to try to get this matching set. So that's why I just went ahead and just said, you know what, just screw it. Let's just go ahead and get them all. So it took me about 3 months, but I got the whole series on hardback, and I am planning to gift my trade paperbacks to someone who has already claimed them, and hopefully they will have a good home there. But yeah, that's the only physical purchase I got for the month of March, and it's also because, guys, I was saving up for something I plan to buy in April, which I did buy. If you watched a short recently, you know what that is. But if you don't know, hey, wait until next month's book haul, and we will talk about it there. Now, I got the most I've ever gotten from authors this month. This is the most I have ever gotten from authors before. So this is going to be the longest portion of this video. And I got to start off by talking about one that is an author that I just think is the coolest guy. He's so super nice. And it's just a bonus that his books have just been awesome for me. Of course, I'm talking about Mike Shackle, and he sent me A Fool's Hope, and he also sent me Until the Last, which I'm reading right now, and I'm about halfway through that one. Is that a massive book or what? But he sent me both of these, and this was my book of the month for the month of February. Is this going to be my book of the month for April? Or sorry, so February was We Are the Dead, and then March was A Fool's Hope. So this could be the first Triple Crown winner. I don't know. We'll find out. But Mike sent me this awesome stuff, all these collectibles and stuff that go along with it. Signed the books, and he even drew some actual art for me at the front of it. After he signed it, he actually drew some art of one of the main characters, Tinstra. Just so cool. This series is so great, and the fact that I couldn't find a matching, because he sent me We Are the Dead back in like 2020 as a review copy. And I was trying to get the trades to match that one in diameter and length, and then they wouldn't in the States. So I had to get the ones from the UK. They're very hard to get a hold of. Mike said, let me do some digging, and he dug around and he found me those matching sets, all in the same size. So as a collector, I am overwhelmed, and I'm just so happy that this series has been so awesome because I am loving it. And the fact that he actually went out of his way to send those across the pond to me, I do really, really appreciate. He also sent me this comic that he has actually wrote a story for in it, and it's got some really great art, but I haven't actually read it yet. But I do know the story of this is Mike Shackle's story. So look, I've loved the Last Word trilogy. I can't wait to see what Mike writes next, because it will be what I read next. I can't wait to do it. I talked about it last month because he sent me a digital art. Well, he went ahead and sent me the final version of The Way of Eden. This is from Philip Chase. Beautiful cover, Philip. I really do appreciate this. The thing was, he wrote me a note that said, I plan to send you later on, send you an autographed copy, so you can just beat the crap out of this one. Well, Philip doesn't know me very well. I don't beat up my books, but I did go ahead and give this to my wife to read, and she's already damaged it a little bit. So, Philip, you have your wish in one way, but I just could not bring myself to do it. I can't wait to read it later on this month, part of that readathon, so I can't read it just yet, but I do intend to read it. I got some things lined up with some other readers that I plan to do first, but I will be reading it over the course of the month of April. And Philip, you continue to be way too nice to me. Thank you so much, sir. I do appreciate it, and I hope you're having a great launch. I've seen so many people talking about it. I'm seeing it coming up everywhere. I see it come up as recommended on Amazon and stuff. So I'm thinking Philip's having a lot of success. I'm very, very happy for it, because no guy out there deserves it as much as Philip. He works his tail off, and he is part of a very, very positive community. So it could not happen to a nicer guy. Next up, this one is called The Wizard's Quest. What is this? Wizard Quest and the Temple of Grace. This is by Bill Butler. Looks very, very Final Fantasy. And I mean Final Fantasy like the original, guys. The original Final Fantasy, I'm old here. The original Final Fantasy on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And you picture 4 characters off of class, right? And every once in a while, we would do this crazy idea of, let's pick 4 mages. And we would just just go there and get our magic leveled up. And at first it was tough. But once you get your magic leveled up, we just wrecked everyone in those games. So that's what that cover kind of reminds me of. So thank you, Bill. I do appreciate that. And again, guys, with some of these authors, I haven't read the books and I don't know a ton about them. but I will drop the link below if you want to go ahead and check them out for it yourself. This one's from Serotonin, a member of my Discord. Thank you so much. This is Between Light and Shadow. I believe she said this is a planned book 1 of 6, and very, very cool. I'm getting some Dresden Files vibes off of that cover there. And you guys, these self-published authors just continue to wow me with their cover art. It just seems like it gets better and better. Next up, this one is called The Black Tapestry by Daryl K. Hill. This looks a lot like those Larry Correa covers that are coming out right now for Saga of the Forgotten Warrior. That's what it kind of makes me think of. So yes, again, drop down below and I'll send a link for these. And you guys can check them out if you want to know more of them. This one is called Unbound from Michael R. Miller. He already sent me book 1. I think it's called Ascendant. Is that what it was called? Not really sure. But I know Tori over at Tori Talk, she was reading book 1 recently. And she said that's one that I really recommend that you would read with your son. So this sounds like... she said, I think other people I've heard describe it as, I don't think this was Tori, it says, like, if you're not quite ready for Aragon, but you really, really liked Aragon, I think this would be a series for you. Now, anything that is young adult and has dragons, people are going to compare it to Aragon. I know that happens quite a bit. So I don't know if you should take that one to heart. But these are very, very handsome hardcovers. So thank you, Michael. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm excited to get there because just all what Tori was telling me the other day, I think she said she read like half of it in one sitting. And she said it just flows really, really fast. So really, really kind guy. He's spoke to me on Twitter a couple times. And I'm just happy to be able to have your book in my library here. This one's called The Last Man. It's a series of 3 books by Sean Williams. I don't know if it's a trilogy or if this is just what has been released so far. So let's go ahead and show them off. Here's 3 books here of varying lengths. So drop down below, like I said, if you want to know something more about that. This one I've heard a lot about recently. This is The Price of Power by Michael Michel. I hope I'm saying it right. This one I think was actually done off of a successful Kickstarter. And if that's the case, hey, congratulations, man. That's really, really awesome. I don't know anything really about the book, but I have seen it floating around my Twitter timeline a lot lately. So hopefully you have had a successful launch, and I'm excited to see and hear more about it as we go along here. This one is called The First Rule. This is by Stephen William Hanna. Really cool. I like the art. I like the bookmark. Thank you very much. You can never have enough bookmarks. You know, we were talking the other night with some of my patrons on Discord. We were talking about people that still dog-ear their books, and it's like, you know, I dog-eared my books until I think I was about 12, and I realized that every single thing around your room could be a bookmark. You know, hey, look, hey, check it out, it's a leaflet that someone left on the door. Hey, bookmark. So, yeah, use more bookmarks. It's really, really not hard. And last up, guys, this one is from Sam Bates. It is called Doom Point. Sent me a really nice handwritten letter. I always do appreciate that, and you guys always have better handwriting than me. You know, the thing is, once we went to digital, mostly typing just about everything, my handwriting just seemed to get worse and worse and worse. So it's hard for me to get onto my kids when they bring home their schoolwork. And I'm like, why is your handwriting so bad? You know, and I'm like, write like this. And I'm like, wow, my handwriting's not that great either. Anyway, now that I've completely derailed, check out Doom Point here by Mr. Sam Bates. Again, these indie authors are working their tails off. The quality just seems to get better and better. And it's starting to feel like the tide's turning a little bit. It's starting to seem like self-pub is really, really gaining traction, or independent release, because you know, they get to do what they want to do when a lot of traditional pubs are still, okay, you got to do this, we'll publish you if you do this, if you cut this out, if you add that. I still like this opportunity that a lot of these authors have to write the story that they want to write. That's something that obviously I'm always going to encourage. Just like if you guys want to send stuff to me, that's great. I might not have the time to get to it right now. So if I can help you in any way, this is the best way for me to do it. And I always encourage you guys, like I said, chase your dreams. Keep fighting a good fight, guys. I do appreciate everything that you sent me this month. How about from some publishers here? I did get a couple. Now, this one is called Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi. Hope I'm saying that right there. Again, I don't know a ton about it. So again, look down below for these. And this one actually came without a note or anything, so I'm assuming it came straight from the publisher. This is Breaking Colossus, Stars Reach Book 1 by Matt Wright. That actually looks, it's not, but it actually looks a lot like the Bane covers, you know, when I get those Bane mailers. And that's the other thing I got here, guys. I did get a mailer from Bane. Let's take a look at that next. Now, as always, guys, if you're into science fiction, pulpy sci-fi, I think that Bane is the way to go. They have so many authors that are so just productive. They put out so much stuff. So let's take a couple looks here. This is John Ringo, Linda Sherrier, Into the Real. This is, I'm just going to hold them up here because it's too many authors. You're going to be laughing at me for reading over my glasses because I can't see without the glasses and I can't see with the glasses. I'm just in that nice tweener phase where you're like this the whole time. It's good times. But, got that one upside down there. Again, I think these are great. I give these as gifts. Like I said, I gave a bunch of these to the Harris County Jail out here in Houston, and they were really, really thankful for them. The gentleman that I handed them out to basically said, I'm like their Andy Dufresne now, without actually being an inmate myself, is that they really appreciate it because they didn't have a library or anything. So they really did appreciate it. He says he sees them all the time in the yard, in their cell. They're always in the lunchroom. They're always got these things. They're just passing them around now. So that's a really, really great opportunity that Bane's given me to provide that kind of entertainment for people. I love that. They got some hardcovers here. Is that Rothman? DJ Butler, obviously is one I've heard a lot about. This is Charles E. Gannon. Again, I don't know a ton about some of these authors, guys, so I hope you look up yourself. Tim Akers is one that Chris Verrocchio always recommends to me. I don't know this author. I think that might be the first time I've heard that author. And the last one, guys, is one I'm actually going to be reading next year sometime. I didn't read it when it first released because it wasn't done yet. I thought it was going to be a trilogy, and then I got it's actually going to be 5 books, but I've heard amazing, amazing things about it. I'm talking about Larry Correia's Saga of the Forgotten Warrior, which I was talking about earlier. This is book 4 that just came out. They actually sent it to me a couple of weeks early, but this is a series that, like I said, it's going to be 5 books. This is book number 4. Larry writes pretty quick. So I think I am going to go ahead and start this series next year because I've heard just unanimously amazing things about this series. And I think that Larry Correia is going to be an author that I really do dig. I think it's going to be an author I really do get into. I probably would have preferred to do Monster Hunter International first, but I think I picked I was going to use that as my Dresden replacement, but I think I've already picked Alex Veras as my Dresden replacement. So I think that I might go ahead and start Larry with those Saga of the Forgotten Warrior books, which, like I said, I've heard amazing things about, and I cannot wait to do it. Let's go ahead and end this, guys. I'm talking about a couple of things I got from viewers this month. Jay actually sent me a copy of John Dies at the End. Yes, I did get this book last month, but that's okay. You can always use an extra copy in case one breaks down. So thank you, Jay. I do appreciate that. With stuff like that, guys, when you get a P.O. box, it's going to happen. Sometimes you can get duplicates and things like that, but that's okay. That's okay. The thought still matters, and I am a master at finding, hey, you don't have that book? Would you like to read it? I can send that to you. I've done that quite a few times. This is from Ryan. This is the last book in Peter Macklin's War of the Rose Throne. And this is Priest of Crowns. I can't remember which one's which. But I said when I did my results for that viewer, not a poll, I don't really want to call it, but the results for what fantasy series should I read after I finish Realm of the Elderlings, War for the Rose Throne came in 4th place. But his note said, hoping this can maybe make you decide to move it up a little bit. So I do plan to read all those starting in 2024. And now that I have all 4 of these, that would definitely be one that I do plan to do. I got my I guess you call her my pen pal. It's really kind of hard to call her pen pal because I haven't written her back. She doesn't really give me a return address, but I'd love to write her back one time. But Judy sends me a nice card and a Starbucks gift card almost every month because she's just the best. I do appreciate it. Hope you are doing well, my friend. And this one came from Jerry. He used to work at B. Dalton. You guys remember B. Dalton Booksellers? He sent me some of these first edition, I guess you call them first edition. These just like these original bookmarks that came out when some of these books came out. Here's David Eddings, Belgariad. Here's Isaac Asimov's Foundation. Pretty cool. Anne McCaffrey, I guess this is Dragon Riders of Perm, which I have not yet had the pleasure. Here's for Stephen Donaldson's Thomas Covenant series. And The Wounded Land, more from the second Chronicles of Thomas Covenant. So again, guys, bookmarks. Very, very important. Make sure you're using them. And thank you so much, Jerry. I do appreciate that. I do have one last thing I want to show you here because it's pretty cool. So I did a short about this the other day. This is this really fancy BenQ reading lamp. Now, what's amazing about this, guys, is I have one of these already on my desk, but this one's a floor lamp, which I plan on putting towards my recliner downstairs. What's amazing about this is because if you don't have a good place to read with natural light, this lamp is the best that I've ever encountered because it has a cool light, or warm light, it has a cool light. It has this thing where you just press this button and it'll adjust to the best lighting for you to use while you're reading. Guys, it's amazing. It helps reduce eye strain. It's absolutely amazing. I love that it's a touch lamp. It's highly adjustable. Pretty much any angle you want to put it at. I love it. BenQ actually sent me this one because, I don't know, they're really, really nice. I really do appreciate them doing that. So I wanted to show it to you guys because it's just so cool. And in fact, they gave me an offer to give an offer to you guys for a discount. If you check the comments down below, I'll make sure I pin that comment if you guys want to get a discount. So it's a really, really amazing lamp. And if you have the extra money to pick one of these up, I highly recommend it because the worst thing we can do, guys, staring at our devices and our phones and our iPads and all that stuff for so many hours per day is we're just wrecking our eyes. So if there's one more thing you can do to reduce eye strain, I recommend digital e-readers, but if you're going to read from a real book, make sure you have great lighting, guys, because without our eyes, we can't keep doing this thing that we love. It's very, very important that you guys do that. So I hope you will do that. Take care of your eyes, guys. Check out this lamp. Check out any of this other stuff that I've talked about this month. I'd like to know what you guys got in the month of March. Why don't you drop in the comments and let me know, guys, and I will talk to you there.